Hello, my name's Richard Bloom. Richard Bloom Hypnotherapy, rbhyp.com. This is the second video of a series of videos talking about self-hypnosis and how self-hypnosis can be used to help with your motivation. Now, I teach a 12-hour self-hypnosis course. It's 2 hours a session over 6 weeks, where I can take someone from a complete novice in using self-hypnosis all the way up to quite an advanced standard and a deeper understanding of how their subconscious works and how they can actually access it and enable positive change. So we were talking about how to use that same self-hypnosis technique that we're teaching the course to access your subconscious and make those amazing positive changes. To work with that, we had to just focus a little bit more on what is motivation. Negative motivation, fear motivation that drives you from worried about things, loss of this, loss of that, and positive motivation, expectancy, positive expectancy. I know I'm going to achieve something. And when I'm using these techniques with people on my course, we talk about knowing, because your subconscious needs to know a destination point. When we're discussing anything to do with the subconscious mind, I always like people to couch their wording as if they're talking to a highly intelligent 7-year-old. If you talk to a highly intelligent 7-year-old, you're not ambiguous. You don't talk in ways that would cause confusion. And so as long as you keep things clear and simple and concise, it is far more effective when you're reprogramming, enabling positive change at a deep subconscious level. So when we're talking to the subconscious, we always talk as if we're talking to a very, very intelligent, knowing 7-year-old. And we want to make sure that that 7-year-old knows exactly where we want to be for our destination. And one of the things we talk about is knowing. So how do you know something? Well, we all know simple things like, what is the word yes? Yes is a positive word. No is a negative word. These are without any grey areas. If you drop something from your hand, you know it's going to fall to the ground. You don't know it 5%, 10%. You know it 100%. And when we're reprogramming the subconscious using these techniques, we use very clear, defined goals, saying that, well, I know 100% that I will achieve this goal. And when you say that to your subconscious and your subconscious says, oh no, I won't, I'm absolutely terrified, then you know you're fighting against yourself, and there's a part of you that doesn't want to do this because it's absolutely terrified. And the job after that is to enable you to use your self-hypnosis techniques to let go of that terrified part of you so that you can move forward and achieve your goals in the way that you wish. Fear motivation is what we talked about before. And we're now talking more about positive motivation. So what is positive motivation? It's when you aim a bow and arrow at its target, but the target is made of the most incredible magnetic material, and it pulls the metal arrowhead straight to the very center. And that's what positive motivation is like. It literally drags you to your goal. And when things go wrong, which they always do, invariably, your positive motivation, if it's really, really focused, keeps going and going. Maybe you're ill, maybe you run into technical problems, maybe you run out of time or money, or you have things get in your way. If you're positively motivated and drawn and focused, nothing stops you from getting to that goal in the end. And so we use these self-hypnosis techniques to enable you to keep that drive going. Motivated people like sports people, salespeople, and other people in certain areas of business, they have very clean, clear goals. They know what they need to earn at the end of every month. They may not earn it, but it's setting that goal that's important. You're programming your subconscious, and with these techniques, you are able to do this far more effectively. Because what's the use of trying to program your subconscious to achieve an amazing goal when it's so terrified and so frightened of failure, so frightened that it won't accept them? And so you're just banging your head against the wall. And your job is really to be at peace and to let your subconscious work with you to achieve your goal rather than fight against you. And again, these self-hypnosis techniques enable people to do that. So when we're working with achieving these goals and making you feel really focused and really excited, and you're bouncing out of bed every morning because you're so focused and driven, all of a sudden what happens? Well, your kid's ill, you got to take them to the hospital, you got problems with something's gone wrong with the electrics, the computer's not working, your phone's been smashed. All these things can cause tremendous frustration. So when you're using these techniques with self-hypnosis, you also need to manage your frustrations and anger, and because you're so focused and driven, you don't want to start causing problems with that frustration because you're so focused. So it's all about managing your life and getting the balance right. So even when things do go wrong, you manage them, deal with the frustrations, deal with the anger, deal with the stress, using these techniques, these self-hypnosis techniques, to enable you to not be in a bad situation, not put off when you want to achieve your final goal, which could be days ahead, weeks ahead, months ahead, or even years ahead. So it's always, in reality, it's a constant balancing act between your reality and your actual goals. And again, self-hypnosis, when it's used in the way which I teach it on the course, can be very effective in enabling you to deal with those frustrations and those things that constantly go wrong in life, stopping you from getting to your goals. So you're driven relentlessly to your goal, no matter what's going on, without getting that deep feeling of frustration and anger. It's, as I said, a balancing act. In this video, I wanted to dig more into success, and we talked about expectation, the expectation to be not 5% but 100%, and letting go of the fears. And very often people actually fear success. Why do they fear success? Well, if you succeed, then possibly you might attract more attention from people you don't like, and so you don't want to succeed. If you succeed, you may become rich and successful, and you've met or heard about rich and successful people and you don't like them. Maybe you feel you'll be ostracized by your friends or relatives if you become super, wealthy or really successful. And believe it or not, these things can actually slow you down and stop you from achieving your goals. I was working with someone who wanted to move from being a golf trainer, teacher, to a professional golf player. And in the end, their motivation was really it wasn't there at all, because they were so worried about being on tour month after month and leaving their family behind them. And in the end, they had to make that decision to finally stay with the family and be that professional trainer and not be the pro golfer. Their real motivation was to be be a parent, a partner, and so once they knew exactly what they wanted to do, then I could make sure they were motivated to be the best trainer they could possibly be, and let go of that underlying feeling that they were a failed pro and they could have done a lot better on the pro network, or a circuit as they call it. Everyone is motivated in different ways. So we're talking about fear of success, and very often the fear of success also could be caused by the fact that people don't actually feel they deserve to be successful. They don't feel they deserve it. They don't feel they're good enough to achieve success. And so this is a self-esteem issue. And again, you can use self-hypnosis to go deep down to that self-esteem issue, let it go, and then move forward and letting go of that fear of failure. So there's fear motivation, which we talked about, and then that can stop you from moving into a more motivated, more practical expectation to succeed. And also fear of success can also stop you. So the next part we'll be talking about is expectation to succeed. So there's three elements: motivation through fear, things stopping you like fear of success, and then lastly the expectation to succeed. They're the three sides of this triangle that cover motivation as far as my clients are concerned and the course I teach. The next video in this series of 3 videos, we're going to talk about the last part of motivation. Moving over from fear motivation to positive motivation, and why it's so difficult when you've been fear motivated all your life. And then enabling yourself to see the future as if it has happened in the past, and see yourself succeeding, experiencing yourself succeeding as if it has already occurred, and why that is often so difficult for people, and how we use self-hypnosis to clear it. Thanks for watching. Please click on the like and subscribe.
There are several ways that you can get in touch with Richard Bloom. We're on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram and Twitter. All you have to do is look for Richard Bloom Hypnotherapy. And if you happen to be watching on YouTube at the moment, check in the description box below. You'll find links and more information about us. And remember to visit rbhyp.com.